Good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome
Good
to this
afternoon.
time. Welcome back. We had you on at the time of the leap, and now we are very, very fortunate to have you again with us for the Teachers' Day 2021. And welcome, and thank you so much for accepting the invitation and being a part of this magazine.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Being associated with Curious Times is really a pleasure. Which in innovations from children, teachers, articles. It's a good read for
Right.
one and all. Yeah.
Ma'am, so Ed Leaders is going to be a magazine which is going to celebrate the journeys of various education leaders like you. And we will be talking about today, we will be celebrating you and your journey. So we'll be talking more about you and how did things like, what were your inspirations to join teaching as a profession? And then how did you keep things moving and how did you grow to this level? So that's my first sort of passion.
Yeah. So actually, it would be wrong if I say that teaching has always been my passion. I always wanted to be a teacher. No, I was a teacher by chance. And when the opportunity came up, I didn't let it go.
Okay.
So that is the first thing I think as human beings we should learn. Don't miss opportunities that come your way.
Right.
So once the opportunity came, because you really don't know what you want to become unless you try it. And
Right.
I always believed in be happy in what you do. So I started off as a teacher, starting from grade one. And over the years, it gave me great pleasure. And since I had my own children studying in the same school, initial years were very convenient also because we used to go together to school, come back from school together.
Right.
But that somehow lost its importance to what I was doing was much more important.
Right.
The convenience part took a back step, and I enjoyed my teaching career. This is my 26th year with the Choice School. This has been my first profession and the first place where I started work. So it has been a very enriching journey because you get to learn so much. And first of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Jose Thomas, the president of the Choice Foundation, because his vision and mission is what we all look forward to. We are also, it's not that he says something and we don't agree to it because it's so true what he says. His mission and his vision for the school is in general for the nation. So a lot of things that we have been trained from, I have been trained, you can say, for last 25 years, and I'm still getting trained for the various aspects of education, holds steadfast. And we have always been a forward school, you can say, um, with a changing mindset. We don't. So I was a person who was always willing to change for the better. And I believe in every training, there is something that you take back. Something.
Right.
Maybe not everything, but something is always there. So I pass this on to my teachers also, because training generally, if you see on a general note, teachers might say that what is it that we have to get trained like this for? That is the general thing that you hear. But with my team of teachers, especially now in Calicut, they are all a bunch of enthusiastic teachers who are willing to learn because it has been drilled into them that yes, you get something from everything. You don't have to take everything from everything, but
Right.
yes, something is there to learn in every training, from every conversation you have with somebody, from the children, from your peer group, from your management, and be happy in doing it. Unless after all in your life, you're seeking happiness.
Right.
Unless it makes you happy, it's better you don't continue.
Right.
There's no point in cribbing, and because you will pass it on to the children. Because we want to have a bunch of children who are happy with themselves, with the world, with everything around them.
Right.
So that has been my journey.
Yeah. So wonderful. I mean, you've been with the Choice School for ever since you started your career. That speaks a lot about the
Yes.
institute also, right? It's not just about
Yes.
you know
I
uh,
know.
you as a professional, but I think also
No.
about the institute. And
Yes, yes.
obviously, I've been in touch with all the principals of the various schools,
Yeah.
branches,
Good.
and also with the vice principals or the coordinators. And it's always been very warm, and my experience has been extremely great. So I can personally say that there has to be something really special about the organization itself, that all of you are so warm and forthcoming to everyone. So then the next thing that I would, so I understand, like you've been there is a lot of investment that you've done in terms of your own interest to learn more and to grow, and within the ecosystem itself you've grown. What are the changes you've seen over the last 25 years, both at your organization level and overall in the space, and how you the teaching systems, etc., have changed over so many years? Like, what are the changes, and do you feel those are enough, or something should have been more fast paced than the other?
No. See, change is always resisted.
Hmm.
So you can't change overnight. Change happens gradually, slowly, and you have to convince everyone about why we need that change.
Right.
So that is, a slow change is always better than an overnight one. But yes, change is inevitable and we have to accept it, because you can't keep saying, in my time we taught like this, so now I'm going to teach like this, because that won't do. Today's children are different from what we were. So with times, with technology, we have to. So, technology may not replace a teacher, but a teacher who doesn't use technology might get replaced.
Very good. Very well said. Yeah. That's
That
very
is
well said.
very, very, yeah, that's, very valid in the sense, because we have to keep up with technology, because children are very tech savvy. And though we tell them, no screen time, not much of screen time, but now mobiles were not allowed in school, but now see our state. The school is inside the mobile.
Right.
So, so all that we have to take into account, and we have to grow. We have to grow with the growing times. We have to grow with the children. So at this time also, though we are a teacher and our children are our students, there's so much we can learn from them also. The various aspects. It's always a give and take. We teach them something, they teach us something.
Right.
And Choice School, we have KCH, knowledge, character, and health.
Hmm.
So we stress a lot on the character factor, the health factor, along with knowledge.
Right.
So we even explain it to the children in the sense, no point in getting an A1 in all the subjects, or a 90% or 100%, when somebody will look at you and tell you, oh, how badly behaved you are. So what matters, when you go in for an interview, okay, your marks, your grades are important. But if you behave well, if you don't know how to talk, what does it tell them about your education, about your capability? So character and health. Health is also very important, the way you eat, the what you eat, your physical fitness, everything. So these are explained to the child. It's not forced on them. You try and convince the child why these are important. A lot of sessions, storytelling, a lot of discussions, because you tell them something and tell them to obey. Children nowadays are not going to do that because they will reason it out.
Right.
So you offer them that. You offer them, you reason it out with them. And believe me, if I say that they will accept it if they are convinced. So you have to convince them first. So the art of communication is very, very important for a teacher, not only her subject, but even otherwise.
Right.
Convincing the children is very important.
True. That is very because yeah, you know that the children need to know the why of everything and not just
Yes.
what and how of the.
Yeah, that's it.
So the why is equally important. And you very well also said that, technology cannot replace the teacher, but the teacher who is without technology will get replaced.
Yes.
So, there is so much that has happened in the last 4-5 years, and especially in the last 1.5 year, that technology has become has become or proved
Long
an
way.
asset. Yeah, it's proved as an asset to to the teachers, to the organizations and the institutes, let alone the children and parents. So given that some of it, let's say this year we still have, present absent kind of school, but hopefully by December, January, when all children are vaccinated, we'll see, like, the next academic session in full swing. So then once the teachers are back, right now they kind of, still there's an operational struggle in terms of delivering of lectures, exams, all of that happening. But next year, when certain normalcy comes and people, so the teachers are back, and there's a technology that's already existed and, accepted and, done. And I'm not talking about the online classes. I'm actually talking about all the support tools that they have developed,
Yes.
all the resources that are now available to them. What in your view is now the new role for these teachers? Like, if you've to sort of say that, okay, to be successful now as a teacher, this is your new role and this is what you need to do. So because I'm asking this because obviously a lot has changed in last so many years, right? And especially last 1.5 year. And more than that, the requirements and the challenges at the students end are going to be different now. And therefore there's a if people are looking up to leaders for, being successful or giving them a mantra, so the earlier mantra may not like completely fit because they want to look at growth. So that growth has to come with a certain definition. And for you, what's that, you believe that, okay, this is going to be the new teacher's role and this is what they need to actually also develop. Otherwise, like, and the technology is there, it will get to stay. But additionally, what is that they should sort of, pick up?
So actually, see that past 1.5 years, ever since the pandemic has started, the dependence on technology has increased multifold.
Right.
So, and even when physical classes start, we will be holding on to some of those for sure. We will, that what has come in will never go.
Right.
But yes, teacher's role will become a little more of a mentor, a guide. Though we kept saying all these in the initial years before technology, because every lesson is available in the soft copy,
Right.
every text, they can always Google, because children are also now a lot more into technology. So everything is available for them if they Google. Any definition, any explanation, anything. So, but that is not enough for a child's growth. So there comes the role of a teacher where along with all these, what are the values that go hand in hand? There the teacher plays, because you don't have anywhere where they will tell you how to bring about that value or how to inculcate that value in you. So there the teacher's role is much more. So henceforth the teacher is more of a mentor, a guide than before. Classes, subjects, all that will happen. Even if the teacher is not there, any substitute teacher, anyone can go. It's all available on the smart class. It's there. The explanation, even the explanations is available on YouTube. But a teacher's presence there, that pat on the back, or a child is upset. So you ask, that human touch, now that is more expected from a teacher, because anything and everything is available on your laptop, on your tab, on your phone, but that human touch is not there. That asking what's wrong with you, or is something wrong at home, or have you fought with your friend, or things like that, the small things that matter a lot to be a human being. That emotional quotient has to be satisfied, because at home even parents are busy, so they may not notice. It
Right.
is in school that the teacher might get to notice if there is something amiss somewhere. So the teacher's role will become more of mentoring, a guide, a philosopher. You have to reason out why with the child, because the child will come up with lot of why. Why is this? Why is that? So you have to reason out with him in a way that he understands.
Right.
Otherwise, children get lost in this world of technology. What
So
is good? What is bad? Things like that. So it's up to the teacher to, to train them to think, train them to logically think, reason out. So all that comes when the teacher has to be doing more of that than actually the subject wise.
right. Yeah, that's true, because all the content that they have, the students also have, or the
Yeah,
older
that's right.
brother or the older sister has. So that definitely does not sort of, doesn't give an edge to the teacher anymore.
Teacher.
Right. And ma'am, so, now that NEP 2020 is getting implemented in all schools, so because it's Teachers' Day, so most of the questions that I'll obviously discuss with you will be around teachers. So, the effect, NEP 2020 sounds great. Like, it has all the good components from a lot of international curriculums. The biggest sort of, this the biggest weightage of the delivery of that actually sits on the teachers, right? So what is in the new context of NEP 2020, what are the skills, or what are the be it more pedagogy, or it could be like other skills, what do you think our teachers gonna require in order to kind of be adapt to the NEP 2020?
So for us at Choice School, a lot of things that are mentioned in the NEP, we have been following it for quite some years now.
Hmm.
We've been, because of our continuous training, because of our vision of our president, everything we have been doing. And so it's not something out of the blue that we have to now start doing it. Art integration with the subjects, sports integration with the subjects. So everything was happening. So we just have to probably fine tune it a little more. That's it. But for the teachers, so it's easier for our choice school teachers to get into the groove of NEP. And the skill sets, as teachers have to be very good communicators. Very good communicators, because that is important. You have to get through to the child. You cannot push him away by talking or by speaking to him. You have to sort of bring him out of his shell when there are children like that. So the skills, first of all, I would say is communication skills. Yes, necessary training is necessary. The need, the skill that is their pedagogy, which teachers have to know all that. Their pedagogy, how they are going to implement their classrooms, how are they going to integrate different subjects, and what is right. So all that part of the train is part. Teachers have to be constantly trained. You cannot not do without it. So that is something which is very important, because even for NEP, I mean, what it encompasses, all that teachers have to be made aware of. And it's a huge document. So break it up, have trainings, each teacher to know where he or she stands with the new NEP structure, and the new structure where even the preschoolers have, preschool, LKG, UKG, everybody is under the
New
CBSE, yeah, the new, the foundation years. So that's very important. And the benchmarks, what does the child have to know before he goes to the next class? So identifying that. So, and it is a group. One teacher cannot decide.
Right.
So for us, we are fortunate in that we've got 3 schools, so 3 sets of teachers, and our school in Calicut is the youngest. So our teachers are probably less experienced, probably some of them. So you gain a lot of experience when you collaborate. When you collaborate with the other teachers of the different schools of ours. So we get a lot of experience that way. You get a lot of new ideas. And since our teachers are much fresher, they will have different set of ideas. So that way, that collaboration. So communication is important. Collaboration with your community is important. Community of teachers is important. You know your subject thoroughly. You know the pedagogy. Over and above all this, you need to be a good communicator, good collaborator, good team worker. So a teacher's role is multi-dimensional.
Right.
So if you have to be a good teacher, you need every single thing that you would wish for in your teacher. So that is there, and luckily we've got a very good team of teachers in Calicut now, and earlier on in Puntra and Tiruvalla also, yes, which Rachel's managing. So yeah, that is it.
Yeah, good. So, ma'am, without taking too much time, I am just gonna quickly take you to Teachers' Day as an occasion.
Okay.
We have lots of children already started pouring their love for teachers on Curious Times. And I'm sure, the Choice School kids will also turn up with all their beautiful notes and poems and everything.
Yeah.
So, your closing message for the students. So, the children on Curious Times, your own students, students all over India who will be celebrating it. Though it's a Sunday, so we're trying to make all the things happen and in advance to the best of our abilities. Yeah, but share some inputs for children. They are sort of
Yes.
for your and your.
However, one thing I would like to say is, however old your students become, you still address them as dear children.
Yeah.
So it is, it's like we become children, we become the mother of so many students. So that I would say, children, we are very fortunate that we got you to love us and we love you. But sometimes I feel children, those who pass out of +2, very often forget the teachers in the lower classes. But when you were there, you used to, the love that used to shower on them, it's what is in our memories. As a kindergarten teacher, as a primary teacher. So wish them, think of them, speak to them. So because you're speaking to those teachers, just a hi or a hello, we love you, some anecdotes that you remember would bring the world's greatest joy to that teacher. So that children, you are very, very lucky that you have blessed parents, blessed teachers, your family, everybody to love you. But there might be one odd person amongst you, or one odd person amongst the teachers who needs your love. So be grateful. Gratitude is something. Being humble, being grateful for what you have is always, will always bring back only happiness to you and your family, and God will bless you for that. So with those words, I wish all the teachers a very, very happy Teachers' Day, and all the children out there, thank you for wishing all your teachers. I'm sure it's made a great day for us. Teachers' Day is one day when teachers feel so proud to be a teacher, so very proud. And with, it's not material that we need, anything, no gift, just a thank you or we love you is what matters the most. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. From Curious Times team, we wish you, your faculty, all your team members a very happy Teachers' Day. We wish you a lots and lots of growth and success, and a lot of good health as we all fight the pandemic, right? And we wish everybody safety and health.
Yeah.
And wish you all the best. And thank you so much for being part of the Ed Leaders.
Thank you for this opportunity, and wishing you also a
Thank
happy Teachers' Day.
Yes.
As bringing out the Curious Times. Yes, you're also a teacher in some way. All
Yes.
of us are,
Yes.
all of us as parents, we are teachers. We are the first teachers for
Yeah.
our children.
Thank you so
So stay safe, take care. God
Thank you
bless.
so much, ma'am. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.